Gentleman's game here. Fellas, every single day I get dozens of messages from guys who are still trying to get that first girl. Problem is, these guys have such little understanding about female nature, about the reality of dating in 2022, that they always end up getting their hearts ripped out their chest by this particular girl. So I'm gonna let you in on some game-changing secrets that will give you an extra level of perspective about male to female seduction. Cause anyone can learn a few lines here and there, maybe luck out and get a date, or even a kiss now and again. But it takes a solid understanding about how to go about meeting, dating, and hooking girls into your world in order to keep her around, to build an actual relationship with your dream girl. And more specifically, I'm going to show you these secrets through a story. But first, just a quick shout out from the sponsors of today's video, Tiege Hanley. If you find yourself struggling to get dates, your skincare can be a reason why. And these guys have really helped me maintain my skincare routine by making the entire process straightforward and uncomplicated. Honestly, it's probably the best skincare system out there for guys like you. I recommend you start with their level 1 system, which comes with all the basics. A daily face wash to get rid of the dirt, a twice per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of dead skin cells, an AI moisturizer with SPF 20 to protect your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated throughout the night. Another great part about Tiege Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really make the whole thing amazingly easy. I've been using their products for a while now, and it might sound weird, but I look forward to my morning and evening routines because I just feel more confident after using their products. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tiege Hanley get tons of benefits, including 25% off, being able to customize your box, or pause or cancel at any time, and you even get free US shipping. Just click the link in the description box below, and not only will you get Tiege Hanley for the best possible price, but they'll also give you a free gift with your first box. Click that link and get started for just $30 if you're ready to up your skincare game and become a more attractive version of yourself. Now back to the video. So let's start with the story, involving one of my old mates from back in the day, Billy. See, I knew Billy at a vulnerable time in his life. We were right out of college, entering the workforce, and Billy never really had much success in his dating life. He was super bright, a finance guy making over 6 figures as a 23-year-old, but had the experience of a 9th grader when it came to women. He wasn't exactly a popular guy throughout school, more of a nerd, so to speak. He had no value to college women because he had none of the traits that they wanted in a guy. Social status, good looks, inner confidence. But as it turns out, Billy was a late bloomer. All his hard work in school paid off, and he was making all this money in New York City in his early 20s. He naturally started to gain a bit of confidence once his colleagues saw how valuable he was to the team, and started to treat him as such. He was starting to build his value as a man, with a sense of purpose. After some convincing, he finally started using the dating apps, and after a few weeks of tinkering around with the photos, managed to start getting lots of matches. At first, he didn't exactly know how to text girls in a flirty way. Things were definitely awkward to start, but he found a few girls who would be patient with his lack of experience, probably because they saw the direction he was going in as a successful high-value dude. He went on a few dates, most of which didn't exactly go well, before meeting this girl, Alina, and here's where things started to go south. See, this was the first time in Billy's life where a girl who he found to be super attractive showed him a bit of affection. He had never experienced this level of validation before. He didn't know how to handle it. And so he fell for her, hard, which wouldn't have been a problem if she was an honest, good woman who had every intent on being a good girlfriend to him. Sadly, this wasn't the case. It was painfully obvious to everyone in his social circle that Alina was just flat out taking advantage of Billy. making him take her out to these fancy dinners and buying her these fancy clothes and jewelry, flying her out to these trips. Obvious to everyone except for Billy. Again, Billy had never known the affection of a girl before he had his glow up, so to speak. And that's all he wanted to maintain, was the illusion that she really loved him for him. After she took his virginity, he was pretty much spellbound, unwilling to note her negative qualities. This whole scenario sounds pretty bad as is, but it gets worse. Billy later found out that she was still going on other Tinder dates with guys, getting other guys to buy her things and simp for her as well. Billy was heartbroken, begged her to stop seeing those other guys, but she simply smiled at him and continued on. Real sociopathic if you ask me. And what's real dark about this whole situation is the fact that Billy continued to see her even though he knew she was sleeping around with other guys when he told her not to. I asked Billy what the hell he was thinking, and he answered that he simply didn't know how he was ever gonna meet someone as attractive as Alina ever again. I could tell his self-esteem was so low, so shot at that point, that he didn't even care about her blatant disrespect. The next few months would be this toxic cycle of Billy trying everything to lock Alina down as a girlfriend, and Alina knowing just how to push the right buttons to get him hopeful that he had an actual chance, only for Alina to betray his trust again and getting caught texting and messaging other guys, sometimes in the same room as him, which of course led to the inevitable arguments that ensued. It was a real dark situation, and all his friends could tell how much he was affected by it. Whenever he came out with us to hang out, his demeanor would be different. He went from a jolly happy dude to a shell of himself, quiet, hesitant, anxious. He had hit absolute rock bottom, calling his friends and crying, venting his frustrations at 3 AM in the middle of the night. To be honest, I was about to lose hope for him, until Alina did him the favor of breaking things off for good once she found a man she deemed high value enough to get into a real relationship with. See, the reason I like to tell this story is because it really teaches some lessons on how someone's mindset and experience can shape their dating results. One of the first things that this story taught me is the myth that money will solve everything about your dating life. See, I always see this sentiment being echoed on the internet that if you're rich, then getting girls will come easy. These guys think it's a good idea to focus on getting successful and rich first, then their dating life will just magically fall into place. Well, sorry, but that's simply not true, and Billy proved why. He lacked experience knowing how to deal with women, how to spot when a girl has low integrity. He was so starved for a pretty girl and the validation that came with it that he ended up ruining his own life. See guys, you should always be on your purpose, you should be grinding to reach your goals, but don't put off practicing how to interact with the opposite sex until you get the money. Cause if you do, you'll be way behind the curve. I find that it's kind of psychologically damaging actually when a guy waits until he's in his late 20s or early 30s when he's finally financially successful to then start learning how to talk to girls. You simply won't know how to handle your newfound status like you saw happen to Billy. And not only that, but the women that you probably will be interested in around your age will have had way more experience dating than you. There's gonna be subtle nuances in communication skills that you need to understand if you want to be in a successful relationship. And if you don't know them by a certain age, it will make it way harder, no matter how much money you have. Another lesson that Billy's story showed is that, again, you have to know how to establish boundaries. Because if you don't, if you show to a woman that she can take advantage of you with no repercussion, then she'll continue to do that over and over again, while simultaneously losing attraction for you because of your lack of a spine. Don't be afraid to call her out on something that bothers you, and demonstrate that you're willing to walk away. There's not a single girl on the planet that's worth making you lose your self-respect. I can tell you that for damn sure. And lastly, Billy's story showed us why we need to have an abundance mentality when it comes to dating, so you don't act as desperate as he did. Get good with girls in general first before focusing on a specific girl that catches your attention. Yup, you heard that right. If you meet a girl who's your dream girl, just your type, but you can't even hold a normal conversation with an average normal girl, then there's no way you're gonna have the confidence and charisma to seduce the dream girl. Focus on getting good at the basics first. Strong eye contact, keeping a conversation fun, flirty, and playful, escalating physically, with women in general, so that you'll know what to do once you meet that special someone. Once you understand this and implement it, getting your dream girl is no longer an if, but a when. So that's it for the video, guys. Just something that I thought could be some real nuggets of wisdom for you. Which, to summarize again, is to remember that no amount of money you have will make you understand women. That only comes through experience, through setting boundaries with what you accept and don't accept with women. And to improve your dating skills in general first, before pursuing someone specific. Next week, as always, I have a banger coming out that you're not going to want to miss, so like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Peace.